Well, folks, I said I'd pop on tonight and have a chat with you for about half an hour. It's been obviously a quiet couple of days with no football on. We're back obviously on the 20th, 24th against Bucky Thistle. So hopefully things will come quicker. It's been a quiet January regards to transfers as well. A lot of names being linked with Celtic, but there's been no action. I don't know, a lot of people are saying it's early days, no need to panic. If there could be a couple of loan moves maybe. I mean, some people just want players brought in a bit of quality. So these are all certainly welcome back to the channel. If you're tuning in from Facebook, please pop over to Come On The Hoop Celtic on YouTube. Free to subscribe. It'd be really appreciated if we can get you over. And if you are tuning in from X as well, it'd be class as well. So get the comments in. Let us know how you are feeling. I was meant to pop on about an hour ago, but you get tied up in things. So hello to everyone. Tell us where you're watching from and get the questions in. Looks like IDEGUCHI was confirmed this morning that he's left Celtic. So there's one name out the door. It was going to happen anyways, in regards to IDEGUCHI. 6 games in his whole Celtic career, struck with injuries, better players ahead of him in the pecking order, like of Hatate, Matt O'Reilly, even David Turnbull. So one player out. Hopefully James McCarthy's next. I know there's been no speculation about him going anywhere else. Even if Hamilton take him, it would be good. Cleared out the wage bill. David Turnbull, there's nothing going on in regards to his situation. He's still a Celtic player. There's no pre-contract signed. There's no one sniffed around for his signature. Bit of a strange one it is. Kyogo's obviously still staying at the club, long-term deal. He's he's obviously the only recognised striker we have in the rankings now, because always at the Asian Cup. So good luck to all Yang, Rio Atate, Deiza Maeda, Mark Attilio as well. So get the comments in. Don't be afraid to drop me a message. Plenty of time. Of course there's plenty of time. I just think people are a little bit frustrated when you see the likes of, our major shareholder in Barbados living the life with DJ Khaled, playing golf. You want to see a bit of ambition. I think because we had about Ange the last 2 years, we're all expecting players in the door within the first week, and it's 9 days in, and hopefully we'll start getting players gelled in, training with the squad, and maybe give them that competitive debut against Bucky Thistle. That's what fans want. So take time. You don't want to get the wrong ones as well. How's it going, Sean? McCarthy, Kowabashi, Seacrest, Johnston, Lager, Bielka all need to go. There was talks that Strom Graz of Austria were close to signing Seacrest, and that deal broke down the last minute. They ended up going for a 4th-choice Liverpool goalkeeper. So Seacrest, we all know his heart's not in it. He's enjoying his life in the Maldives at the moment with his missus, and if the right offer comes in, let him go. There's no point of keeping people on the wage bill if they're not happy. There's nothing worse than you're working and there's always 1 or 2 moaning narcs and they're just generally not happy. And you're like, why are you working here? Look somewhere else. Good, mate. Good to see. 28 people joining live tonight. As I said, these podcasts are more so to drive viewers from Facebook over to YouTube. If you can do it, it's free of charge. Just subscribe. I'm less than 100 away from the 17,000. Call it the magic Ryan Christie 17K. So, yeah. Thanks very much, FTB. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. I don't know if you've been on since, but Happy New Year to yourself. I hope everyone's doing well and hope you're feeling optimistic about the second half of the season. I've listened to a couple of podcasts over the last couple of days. There's 2 scenarios where this could go, folks. We're 8 points clear, but the games we have coming up, we obviously have the Scottish Cup to contend with. Then Ross County, the home game at the end of the month in the league. Then we're off to play Hibs away, Aberdeen away, back to back. So, and then Kilmarnock. We beat Kilmarnock home. We beat them already at home this season. I know they've been a dodgy team away, but if we drop them points, like it could flip the title race. So or we can just build momentum and win our games and just show who's the best team in Scotland as well. Go over Jordan Henderson, still a class act. He would walk we would walk the league with him. Very experienced captain, wasn't he? For Liverpool, very good player for Liverpool. He was obviously written off his first 2 years in Liverpool when King Kenny signed him, but he matured as a captain, took over from Slippy G, and won Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, Club World Cups, FA Cups, League Cups. I know he's had to be playing with Musa for the last 6 months or so. I think it's not bad to have it around the dressing room. I'd rather have Jordan Henderson than McCarthy around the dressing room, to be honest. But it just depends on the wage as well. Like, I know there's a couple of teams linked with him. Even Chelsea's been linked with him. Teams in Italy and Germany have been linked with Jordan Henderson. So, okay, it's all for a bit of experience. It's about having that leadership in there as well. We have Callum. Callum's a really good captain, and he's going to get better and better as a captain. We all want to see Callum McGregor pushing up as a more attacking option. But once we get Awata back there, we could play Jordan in there and push Callum up. It's an option. It's an option as well. So we'll see what happens. So I know I'm not buying into the whole Jordan Henderson stuff. I could have done a video on it and I could have been a clickbait video, but I'm not buying into it. You know, it is an option, but I don't know if Celtic are actually ambitious about getting a guy in that's in his mid-30s and that could still kick a ball and, you know, still playing for his country. So, yeah. So Ben Bishop is saying underwhelmed and unsurprised this window. I think a lot of people are feeling that. We're feeling like, you know, it's the Celtic Peter Lawwell seesaw. It's gonna go one way or the other, isn't it? Where you expect, you know, players being brought in, a good vibe to it. I just feel like we're sleeping at the wheel. I know there's plenty of time left. Look, there's plenty of time left, but at the same time, one or two names, you know. Maybe Celtic are just thinking about just getting rid of the Deadwood first and then getting the players in and then assess the squad. 5 or 6 days to go. Hopefully it's not you know, panic boys or stupid loan moves. You know, we don't want another Ollie Buck. No disrespect to Ollie Buck, but we don't want another Ollie Buck. Love the show. Thanks very much. Why do you think Celtic are slow bringing in players? I don't know if it's a case that he's not getting the backing he was promised, or is a case that they're struggling to identify the right players in the right positions, to be honest with you, Alexander. We all know that we need players. Brendan has discussed this so many times in post-matches, in press conferences, that we do need to strengthen the squad. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. I feel it's a bit of slow business if Celtic don't get a goalkeeper in this window and give Joe Hart a new contract. I think that's very, very, you know, it's not ambitious. We want to plan for the future. Joe's been a good servant. I've said on the channel, 133 games for Celtic, some crucial saves in derby games and league games and European games, and he's done some errors as well, as goalkeepers do. But he's not the answer long term. He's 27 years of age. You know, like I'd like to see him as a number 2. If Seacrest wants to be there, clear him out. Keep Joe Hart to number 2. I think Scott Payne's just on the list because he's, you know, a homegrown player for the UEFA paperwork. So look at Scott Payne. He's been at the club long enough. 2018, it's mad to think. All the indications are yes, the board are sleeping at the wheel. Time will tell. If I'm sitting here this time next week and we haven't brought one player in, I think 60% will say sleeping at the wheel. You can see that banner being put back out again by the Green Brigade, sleeping at the wheel, because, you know, if you have 70 million in the bank and there's feck all being done with it regards to, you know, improving the squad, which is our biggest asset, it just shows that people are literally, you know, keeping the cash, putting their increases up, announcing it in the AGM, and not putting into the most important thing, which is success that we need on the pitch to drive revenue, to drive season tickets, to drive fans being happy. And I don't know if it's the case that the 70 million will never ever see this. Probably see about 15 million of it. Time will tell. Time will tell. You know, I'm not trying to sound like I'm a Debbie Downer. about the whole thing. Like, as I said, there's 20 days left in the window and plenty of time to do a bit of business, plenty of time to, swoop. It's very hard to get players in January if they're not playing well, or they're, there's injuries in there, or it's just a case that they're coming out of contract towards the end of the season. I've talked about a couple of players on the channel. I know a lot of you are not keen on Scott McKenna. A few of you are not keen on Lauren Shankland. Bojang from Aberdeen, a few years are keen on. There's going to be a host of names. I've talked about that guy last night, Nicholas Conn. A few years that want him because he's not tall enough. As a winger, he's 5'7". I've discussed Ola and Sablaken now. Ola and Sablaken, I made an error on this one. I'll come out and admit it that I didn't realise you can't sign for another club until the summer anyway, because he's played for 3 clubs in the space of like 18 months or something. So we'll see what happens. Good player. Rips Celtic apart as well. We need players now, I say. Of course, but get the comments in. Get the comments. There's no point in me talking. Your comments are crucial. No harm. If any big signs will come in, I'd be surprised. I think the board are happy to limp across the line this season. If they limp across the line and we don't win the league, it's onus on them. People be moaning at the manager this, manager that, this football, this and that, football. The manager can take a lot of responsibility, yes, when it goes wrong. The team will take a lot of responsibility when it goes wrong. But when you have the resources there to improve your squad, and I'm not talking like going out and getting a 20 million player. It's not in Celtic's pay grade to go and get a 20 million player. I'm talking about 7 million player that we can bring in, maybe a 23, 24-year-old from a good league in Europe, and build him as a better player, give him the Champions League experience, let him win trophies at Celtic, and improve him, maybe sell him for a 25 million. If that's the model Celtic are ambitious about, that's what the way they should be going. And 20 million going to the women's team for the stadium at Barrafield. Your season book is funded by them too. Bring in the pennies, spend pounds. Look, it's great to see the women's team moving on. I know Fran's moved on to Texas and stuff like that, and some players have moved on. That's the part and parcel. I'm not big into watching the women's football, folks. I'm not trying to be biased in any way. I'm glad that they won the Scottish Cup and they won the League Cup a couple of seasons before that. And Fran Alonso done a phenomenal job. And Kelly Clark's a cracking captain. I just don't have the appetite for the B games and the women's games. I know that might annoy a few years, but I just focus on, the number one, which is the men's senior team. So I know there's a lot of other channels that focus on that. And if we do get a female podcaster on that's keen on going to the women's games, give me a message, drop me an email. It'd be great to see that. We'll have that, because there is a few years that do message the page on Facebook saying, what's the score of the women's game? Did you watch the women's game? And I'm like, no, I didn't watch the women's game. Fair play to them. They're doing well and they're challenging. They got Champions League football the last couple of years and stuff, but like, I just don't have an appetite to it like some people do. And it's great to see the women's game improving 100%, but my sole focus is on the men's team, and that's what the channel's built on. So maybe down the line. So as I said, I watched the game when the final game of the season where we're unfortunate not to win the league and stuff, but yeah. So get Benji gone, get us a young keeper who's eager and willing to fight for the jersey. I met Benji when we won the treble, and he's a nice guy and he seemed really keen on Celtic. But when you're looking at your personal life and then you're looking at your work life, there's got to be a balance. He's in a long distance relationship. If he wants to fulfill that and have ambitions with her, leave Celtic, cut the contract for both parties, and move on. At the end of the day, it's no harsh feelings. If love is there, we've seen it with Carl Starfelt. He went to Celta Vigo, to be closer to Jacinta, and that's just fairy tale love, folks. Unfortunately, people don't realise that, but love comes around, and you gotta take sacrifices. So yeah, Bernard must go. Is that Brendan? Sorry, is that Brendan you mean, or Bernard? Happy New Year. Do you think Celtic striker hunt should be a tall, physical type of man, 100%. We haven't replaced Giakoumakis. O is not a second choice striker. He's come down and scored a couple of decent goals, but I don't have the confidence. See when O comes on, I'm like, oh, O's coming on. I don't have that fire in the belly. Like, he's gonna get the last minute winner. He does have the potential to do it, but see when Giakoumakis came on, I was like, oh, here we go. So I definitely feel like, as I said, if we're gonna go domestically, we should be going for like Bojan or Lawrence Shanklin. I know a few are against Lawrence Shanklin, 28 years of age, Rangers roots there, and all that malarkey. If he's scoring goals, 18 goals a season, take a crack at it. Bring him in for 18 months or whatever, and 2-year deal, and if it doesn't work, snip it out. Simple as that. We've signed worse players. Berda Bay is not good enough, never a fullback. Yeah, look at Alexandra Berda Bay. It's been quite a bit of speculation about him, about where is he going next. There was talk of teams in Italy were interested. Bologna were meant to be interested, but we'll see what happens. Bologna are always interested in Scottish footballers, aren't they? Well, Scottish League place footballers, SPL footballers, you want to say. I know he's Argentine. But yeah. I follow the girls' team to each their own. Of course, at the end of the day, fair play to the folk that go and support the girls. At the end of the day, all the support for them is brilliant. It's brilliant. That Celtic end when you play at Celtic Park, then derby games. It's remarkable. It's good to see the attendance. I think it was, what was it, like 10,500? Am I right or am I wrong for the game, the derby against Glasgow City, last season? Well, this is a long one, Sean. I might start with this one, Sean. So give me a minute. 56 people are watching me live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. So, folks, do subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, free of charge. Really appreciate it if we can get this up to 17,000 by the end of this month. We are 94 away, so I'm just throwing it out there. There is, if you want to go an extra level and join the membership for 99p, all means do it. There's been about 10 or 11 years that have joined the membership, and a massive thank you to you, and a massive thank you to everyone that just watches me. Simple as that. I can't always be on the button, but honesty is the best policy in it. If I don't know it, I'm not gonna answer it. I'll just throw my head around it. I said this earlier on the Celtic page, when Postecoglou arrived, business was done rapidly and was surprised in Kyogo. His first January window again, business done quick and intent. Since Brendan Rodgers returned, it is needless to say, last summer's transfer window wasn't great if there wasn't a real transfer plan. That's why I don't read good night tales to me kids in bed. My reading is absolutely shocking, isn't it? So I gave it a crack, right? I gave it a crack. But it's just laxy daisy. It's just, Ange's culture, Ange's business strategy, working well with Michael Nicholson and Mark Lowe. I just feel like since Michael Nicholson has moved up the ranks, things have got really laxy daisy in the recruitment side. You could agree or disagree with me. This is the whole point of the podcast. See a good point there. James, the board have no ambition. Right. I said that I think they've shown a lack of ambition already so far. I said a lack of ambition. I'm not going to say fully out no ambition, because maybe that want to clear out the deadwood first in the next week or two. At the end of this transfer window, if we don't bring one or two players in, decent players, I will turn around and say, we're throwing this league away. We're throwing this league away, because when a manager comes out and publicly and says it to the media, to the fans, that we need to strengthen this window, and John Kennedy's came out and said it as well, there's something going on in the background. There's something going around. And we don't want to have that scenario at the end of January, start going into February, where we're going into play His and Aberdeen, and we've only bought one player in, and there's still a lot of deadwood is still there, and you're like, how did we not shift some of them players off? It's getting the right close for them. It's getting the best for both parties as well, isn't it? Well, the three parties that's involved, the player, the club, and then obviously the other club that could be interested, that might take them. I could see maybe 5 players going in this window. My 5 players, because excluding IDEGUCHI that just went today, I'm feeling Mikey Johnson might go. I think you might go to a Scottish team or maybe a League One team in England. I don't think you'll go overseas unless it's a team in Belgium or something like that. I can see Seekers going. So that's two. Third one, Kawabashi to Japan. Fourth one, Kwan back to the J League, not the K League. And then the fifth one, I'm going to say Berda Bay. I'm going to think it's going to be a strange one with Berda Bay. I don't know where he'll go, but that's my opinion on it. Hopefully I'm right. I don't see McCarthy leaving because there's no interest unless Hamilton want to take him back and they want to pay him $2,000 a week or something if they have it in the bank. So yeah. Shankland or Bojan, why not both? I don't think we'll go for both. I think Hearts are going to try milk out for 4 or 5 million for Shankland. Obviously, it's Celtic knocking at the door. It's our rivals, isn't it? You see what the way they done it with the likes of Hartley and Presley. They tried to milk the money on them transfers. James says none. James says none. Let me know in the comments. I know there's a lot of people are against the whole link of Shankland. I'm Brio Extra. I'm off the full fat, folks. Trying to lose to Ned Kelly. I think we should bring in Shankland. I think we should bring Shankland in as well because we're like, what if Kyogo gets injured when these boys are off in the Asian Cup? Who are we going to turn to? The Yellow front. The Yellow's played there a couple of times. Played against St. John's in his 4 seasons, scored 2 goals away in Perth, whatever way you want to pronounce it. No, not big too good vibe around the city. And we should bring in quality players from the Scottish League teams as well. Like what is quality players, Paul? Like what like regards to what's in the leagues? Like that guy Owen Beck, the left back for Dundee United, which was previously at Dundee, that's went back to Liverpool. He looked like a cracking prospect. Should go in for him, the Welsh left back. That was a tip for me. I'd say we should be believing stop penny pinching. I don't like. Come on, as I said already, I don't do the fan media side, but I just feel like a lot of podcasts, and I'm not calling it out what it is. We're not calling out saying like we've money in the bank. Why are we not going out and buying someone? Like it'd be quite madness for Celtic 2 days to go in the window to go out and fork out 12 million, or do you want to fork out 12 million, fork out 8 million for a player 2 days to go. Should be getting these players in, these targets in earlier. We've been linked with the lead striker, Joe Gerrard. Can't pronounce it properly, to be honest, which is he played for Sunderland on loan last season, only 3 goals and 18 appearances. He's played 6 games this season in all competitions for Leeds and 1 goal in the Carabao Cup. Tip to come to Celtic, but why are we going for a player like this so we can buy small and sell big as usual? Get someone that's more established, please. Hell, William Martin, what's the crack? How are you? 74 people joining in the podcast tonight from YouTube and Facebook. As I said, I don't want to sound like a parrot when I say this, but subscribe, free of charge. Get on it like a carbonate. Back me. There's not many Dubliners that have Celtic podcasts, folks. Help the guy out. Free to sub. You know. I think we'll sign a player this week. Fingers crossed. Who are you going for, Lanky? Who are you putting a sneaky prediction on? We can't repeat the start of the season signings that were taking their time. 100%. Look at the recruitment in the summer. I don't know if I still have the pictures of the recruitment in the summer. Hold on. I might still have it here. So here we go. William Martin, you're getting the boot. This comment's getting the boot for the minute. You're not getting booted off the podcast, of course not. So this has been the recruitment this summer, right? Naroski 5 million. Palmer for 4.75. Look, at Palmer's stats have been pretty decent, folks. Let's be honest, you know. Larga Bielka, 3.4 million euros. Thiago Home, haven't seen much of him. You know, want to see more of Thiago Home. Yang, he's trying, but he's a lot to learn. He has a lot to learn. Let's be honest about Yang. You know, it's like it just feels like he takes players on and he's just trying that extra bit. And then his crossings haven't been great as well, to be honest with you, folks. I just feel like the only way he's going to mature as a player is sticking him on loan. And I mean, like, maybe a Motherwell or, maybe a Kilmarnock or somewhere like that. Like what we done with Christopher Royer and the likes of Ryan Christie. We stuck them on loan and they got better, didn't he? Now, obviously, Ryan Christie played in the league before that, but for the Inverness. So, but yeah, I think Yang, I think a lot of people are not confident about the whole Yang situation. And look, at fair play, he's in the South Korean squad, and I wish him the best in the Asian Cup. Tilio, 1.7 million. We've only seen him play for 18 minutes so far for Celtic. It's not good enough. So the rest of them are so-called arrivals. These are just end. So what they do is they mark the end of the season. They say, Shaw will be back. There's one that should be gone. Shaw's contract should be snipped. Adam Montgomery, he's been around the club, youth player, Fleetwood Town, not playing much, he's been injured. I would snip his contract as well. Sayed Hakizmanovic, is it a strange one? I think I'd take him back, regardless of his mentality and his post before he got offloaded to Stoke. I think he's a point to prove. That's if he wants to be at Celtic. And then Paulo Bernardo. We all know what the crack is with Paulo Bernardo. We could fit in 6 to 7 million. Now, I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe that there was actually a clause for him to buy that guy. So he's obviously, before the break, he's torn on the wheels and he's done well. He's done well. That Derby goal, them 2 assists and Paisley, that goal in Dens Park, he's done pretty well. And then IDEGUCHI has gone. He's gone. So this is an old picture, folks, by the way, just to let you know. Jota, look at Jota. Starfelt. Albany Yeti. What an absolute waster. What a waster. I remember he posted something up on Instagram saying, hard work done for the season. He's lying on a boat. And I'm like, man, you've done absolutely nothing. You scored like 2 goals in the whole season at that time. So, yeah. Let's go to the comments. There's not many coming through, folks. So, get on it. Give us a little chat. So, is this the man to deliver the league? I still believe he is, even though the football hasn't been, the best this season. But I think we've turned the corner. I think over the last 4 games, we're playing really good football, really good aggressive football, pressing football, being ruthless towards the game. And you know what? It takes time to click. And I know there's still a few Brendan doubters out there. If we lose to Hibs and lose to Aberdeen, you'll have the Brendan doubters back out the caves. Folks, we're a family. We're a family of being passionate supporters to this team. And we all need to be on board. Simple as that. We all have opinions of the past. We all have opinions of why Brendan Rodgers left in February 19. I think it's time to build a bridge and get over it. As much as I hurt at the time, really hurt me, really upset me, upset a lot of us. And we all labeled Brendan as, well, not all of us, some fans labeled Brendan as a snake, as a rat, as this and rat this. Time to move on. We all have fights with our family members and we build a bridge and get over it. Some people don't. But I think in this scenario, we have a good manager there. He knows what the stakes are high and we need to back him. And it's up to that. It's up to that board. It's up to Peter Lawwell. It's up to Michael Nicholson. It's up to Mark Lawwell and the staff. And it's up to Dermot Desmond to open that wallet and start giving this manager the tools he needs. Because if you don't give this manager the tools he needs and he loses the league, I don't blame him if he walks at the end of the season. I wouldn't blame him because there's no point of you being conned and missold something going into a job. If you're getting told in your job, you're going to get this. Yeah, he's on a reportedly $3 million a year. His salary is, but look, he needs the right tools to work. And you've seen the relationship he's had. He had him with Liverpool before he left. The communication broke down with the board. He ended up getting the boot after Merseyside Derby. You've seen what happened with Leicester. He done well with Leicester for a couple of seasons. He was there with the FA Cup, 2 5th place finishes, and then obviously they got dropped down to the Championship. So there is a manager there who has pros and cons, like all managers, but we need to believe in him, and that's stepping up. stepping up as a fan base. And it's good to see the Green Brigade back in and the boys back in and bringing that extra vibe to the stadium, because, my God, when they were out of the stadium, who was singing? Who was singing? Because the place was like a bleeding library. Like a library. So let's go into the comments. Back to the same old. How's Joseph? How are you, Joseph? Hope you've subscribed. We smell all over the hell. FTB. There's something about Naroski I like. Really think he could be a man. Hopefully, give him a bit more game time. You know, there's competition at the back. Hopefully, Liam Scales gets a new deal as well. There was talk over the weekend that Brendan Rodgers was speaking to the Irish Sun and saying that there's been talk in the background between the board and his agent about a new possible deal. Give the man a new bleed deal, for God's sake. I know people might turn around and say, "Oh, you're jumping on your Irish tints. Wanted a new deal for Liam Scales because he's an Irish boy." No, because he's been consistent. 26 games this season, 1 goal, 3 assists, played big Champions League games, decent performances, Derby. He's just, he's a good centre back, and he's developing a relationship with Carter Vickers. And some people are still thinking, "Oh, I miss Starfield." Get over it. Build a bridge. Players come and go. It's a business. It's a business. He's not Henrik Larsson. Starfield's gone. Wish him the best. He's done well in La Liga for Celta Vigo, getting a couple of teams of the week. Build the bridge. Get over it. He's under Rafa. He's probably going to start growing a goatee soon. The only window we'll get. You said this last night, Jed. Said this on the channel. I've seen this on the channel. That's true. I think we'll get there. I'm looking at the sitting room anyway at the moment. So yeah, nice street lights out there. More activity with the street lights than it is with Celtic's boardroom at the moment. Like, you've seen Chip Chop, not seen him much. I'm hardly on YouTube these days. We'll start getting back on it, but get off that TikTok. It's not good for you. It's addictive. It's a bad app. I'm Sam, mate. Hope you're good. Brendan will get us over the line. Thank you, Dougie. I think he will as well. I think he will. He's like the jerseys tonight, folks. Blanco 98. France 98 World Cup. Viva Mexico, eh? Brendan's the man. Hopefully he'll get the double. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. The last 4 games have been good, but this break is annoying. It slows down, doesn't it, Plunge? I've seen you on a couple of Celtic podcasts saying, showing your frustration. And look, the boys needed it. The boys needed a break. Some of them look burned out. And then obviously the train as well. Look, they could have went to Dubai for a warm, a hot summer camp, or whatever you want to call it, winter training camp, whatever you want to call it. Just depends where you go in the world, innit? This time of the year with the equator and stuff. But the boys are burned out, and hopefully they'll come back. They worked hard, especially the last 4 games. And I know people don't want me saying the word label burned out, but a lot of injuries have been happening. I know getting the likes of Abada and Atate back, it's like new signings, but come on, let's actually get new signings in. The club are trying to make themselves look, "Oh, it's a welcome, Abada, welcome." Come on, stop the PR stunt. Announce someone. Shankland 110%, like you said. If Kyogo gets injured, we are snookered. I think of another option. I'd rather have him than a gamble project. Of course, I agree with you. Big shooter, Sean. Let's get Paolo permanently. My concern this window is Matt O'Reilly. 10 goals this season, 7 assists, I think. I don't know exactly. I think it's 7 or 8 assists. And this is a guy where we need to keep our cards close. We signed him in a new deal. We got this guy for little to nothing off MK Dons back 2 years ago. 2 years ago. It's mad to think Matt O'Reilly's been at the club 2 years, played over 100 games, 25 million. And Matt O'Reilly goes, let's buy Paolo Bernardo, and we can start working on Atate. I don't want Matt to go. Obviously, Matt's probably been the player of the season, him and Scales. Yeah. Plunged. Jesus. Paul. Evening, Scales too. But he's not going to play in left back. he's pretty happy. He's pretty stable with Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor has 18 months left in his deal. Greg Taylor's fighting to keep his Celtic contract. As I said on this channel hundreds and hundreds of times, and I'll repeat it like a parrot, I think this is the best you're going to get Greg Taylor. His best days were Ange's days. I can't see any more improvement for Greg Taylor. I can't see him at his so-called peak. I know he's 26 and stuff like that, but I don't know. I just like us to try get like an own back. You know, some people want Tierney back. Don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I know Tierney has a bit of injuries and stuff, but I love Tierney. I loved Tierney. You know, I was a big fan of Kieran Tierney. Didn't like the way people treated Tierney when he left Celtic. He made us 25 million. And I think it was quite premature, some fans and stuff like that. Like, people were like calling Judas and stuff like that. He made us 25 million. Like, I just don't get people at times. I know we're passionate, but come on, build a bridge. They offered the 12 million. Then he came in with 18, and then we took the 25 million. This is a guy that was at the club for 14 years. Made us 25 million. People need to wake up. Like, seriously. Scales is the player of the season. He is a rock even without CCV. We've seen it with Lagerbielke to start the season with him. We've seen it with Naroski. We've seen it with Welch. He's done well. You know, he's done well. Just 2 seconds, folks. No, that's fine. That's fine. 70 people watching tonight. Please do subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of you have. Free of charge, as I said. Get on it. Get on it. Let's get this boy in as well. You know, let's announce this going to permanent. People are asking me in the channel, would you go for this formation? I think it wouldn't be bad attacking for style of formation. I just need to get Alexander off the comments for a wee minute for now. I'll take him back, yeah. What about that style of formation, folks? You know, have them three centre backs, then push a Tate as the defensive midfielder, pushing Callum up, or you could push, keep Callum in the 6. You know, put Bernardo there. I know this was an old one I done a couple of weeks back. People were watching it, so yeah. I know we've discussed this guy a couple of times on the channel. He's done well for Aberdeen this season. It's been going quiet. I think they're trying to get 5 million out of this deal. So we'll see what happens with him. Yes, to swallow the ice cube. You're Grant. I actually, to be honest with you, I enjoyed that comment. I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a cracking comment. So yeah, fair play. Bring a smile to my face. There's me munching Cappy's Heroes, looking at this comment. I'm like, what a man. So yeah, good stuff. If I could ask Brendan a question, why is McCarthy doing it? I think that's beyond Brendan's pay grade why he's still at the club. I just think Dominic McKay that came in at the time was trying to be Mr. Big Shot and giving these guys mad deals. That's to be honest with you, Tommy. So should be a big signing. Oh, I'd like to see us get right back big time. See what happens regards to the right back situation. See, Scales has been brilliant. Long may continue. 63 people tuning in, folks. Comment below where you are watching from. Obviously, the gaff or out the pub. Comment the location. Just say Aberdeen, Bucky, Canada, America, Fiji, Australia, Reykjavik, Nicosia, Cairo. Get it all over the place, folks. Haiti, Havana. It's not a capital city game, folks. I just thrown it in there. Lanark, buddy. But take the guy from Aberdeen. Offer 2. Sean is on the button tonight. I want that mentality. I've said if we could offer him and maybe Turnbull, you're away. You know, I would offload Turnbull and Mikey Johnson for Bojang. I don't know if you think that's madness, but that's what I would do. Minnesota. How's it going? Hope you're well. Belfast. Great city. Love it. Adrian. Up the Adrian. Always. Edinburgh. I'm living in Scotland 2 years, folks, and I've only been to Edinburgh once. So I need to get myself up to the Berg, Well, I have to get myself up there soon. But yeah, can't certainly welcome in, Ben. These are all certainly welcome in. It's great to see some really, really good names in here tonight. Some really good productive questions. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. If you want to talk about throwback moments, the NTL days, the Martin O'Neill days, if you want to talk about the treble, the double treble, the treble, talk about weird players from that team, talk about leaders, you're certainly welcome. Look at the jersey I have in the background. Let me remove Bojang. He's going through me bleeding mush. This jersey. And look who we have on the back of it. Emilio Izaguirre. I love this jersey. This reminds me of Scott Brown, Ibrox, 2-all game. Good times. The badge, obviously, he's gone through its days, but the Honduran Emilio Izaguirre. And that was our last ever. Well, no, it wasn't. It was our second last ever home jersey where we wore for 2 seasons. The last one was the Magners pinstripe one. We wore that for 2 seasons, and then this whole one home kit each season and all, like, it just doesn't, it's killing people financially. People can't keep up with it, and it'd be really disappointing if Celtic don't wear that 100, that special anniversary hoops jersey. It is on Belter. Think of all the folk that queued online to get that pre-ordered, and then they get it, and then they end up not wearing it. Celtic don't wear it. There wasn't even an official kit for it, but they brought a kit out for the Irish Origins kit for Paddy's Day. We went to wear it against Hibs. Never happened. Another marketing stunt, which I'm not pretty happy about. But it's a cracking jersey, so we'll give it to them for just being bringing out. It, well, like, James, I know you've said this a couple of times on the podcast, and it's not scraping the bottom of the barrel. These are players that have been really good this season. Celtic is a marketing tool, yeah. Big stadium, offer European football, 60,000 seater stadium, fans are electric. It's the wages that killed Celtic. People could be linked from, say, the argument's sake, of Italy, Spain, or even Scandinavian football. They're linked with a club, and a host of Premier League clubs are linked in there as well. Most of them will go to the Premier League because they're getting offered maybe 2 or 3 times the salary. It's just the salary that kills us. That's why we can't lure some players in, I'll get you, Keith. Go on YouTube, call Irvin Boy. He's got all the replays of the 80s. I've watched a couple of them. Really, really, really good channel. Really good channel. There's been so many good Celtic YouTube channels over the years, like all the footage and stuff like that. Even the Love Street one's unbelievable. Yeah, I've watched them I've watched that channel a couple of times. Oh, catch you, mate. Hi, Edward. How are you getting on? So, folks, another 15 minutes of this podcast. Good numbers tonight. 77 people tuning in from all over the place on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just press the subscribe button if you haven't. No one's putting a gun to your head, folks. Just, if you press that button, help the cause of the channel, build the channel. The more people tune in on a regular basis, the more confidence I do this. The more confidence I do this, the more I'll enjoy it. Simple as that. I'm not going to come on and it's only literally 10 people on a podcast watching with a podcast. It's taking time out of my day to try prep and do it. I want a decent audience. I think the structure of the channel, the stature of the channel deserves a bit better. So I appreciate everyone that watches, folks. From the bottom of my heart, these are all sound for doing it. Taking time out of your night. Could be watching Emmerdale. Could be watching Emmerdale on Coronation Street. But instead you're watching this guy talk absolute baloney. And the board don't care about 60 million in Europe. They care about the Old Firm brand, maintaining the status quo. Old Firm is dead, but I understand what you're saying. Completely understand what you're saying there, but we need to just start investing in the team, right? Yeah, they'll be quick enough to snap the hand and let Matt O'Reilly go for 25 million or 30 million if the right offer comes in. And I think there will be transfer deadline bids for Matt O'Reilly. Mark my words, if he comes back and scores against the likes of, I know it's only Bucky Thistle, No disrespect to Bucky Thistle, but the 5,000 fans that are travelling down from the Highlands of Scotland down to see their beloved hoops play. And I'm going to say this as well. I'm going to be honest. I know people will disagree in the channel, but I like to see. I wish Bucky got the option to wear the hoops and we wore the away jerseys just for a once-off occasion at Celtic Park. I know we're the famous hoops. You know, St. Peter's Church and Bucky helped raise funds to form this football club and give them a few strips and stuff like that. And there's a Celtic connection there. But like, come on, it's just a jersey. It's just a jersey. Let them wear it for the day out. We wear the black one, you know. It's not like we never wore away jersey at Celtic Park before. We wore it from campaigns last season against St. Johnstone, you know. I think that was a homeless campaign they done it for. So it's only a strip. Either way, our boys are playing. They're playing in paradise, and that's the most important thing. I had people that are like, oh, not a chance. We're the hoops, and that's it. They can go after set. I'm like, stop being so bitter, like. So yeah. Plunge is on. They do care about 60 million. They care about they don't care about spending 60 million, you mean, on the team. They're not going to spend 60 million, not a chance. But yeah. So folks, I'm gonna actually leave it there. I've done enough tonight. Give it 2 more minutes and I'll be leaving it. My first kit was the 2013 home long sleeve, same as myself. It wasn't my first ever kit. I have that. That was the good old Barcelona kit. Be Barca, yeah, it reminds you of Barcelona. Tony Watt made me support. I didn't even read that, but I just jumped to the UK, jumped at the comments. Well, half the comments. Watched the full 88 Cup final on Sunday night. Plunge was brilliant. Archie McPherson, wolfing away. Frank McAvenny, double. Dundee United. Am I correct? Before my time. Hail from Dublin. Hope you're well, Vincent O'Brien. The same first name as me dad, Vincent. So I hope you're well in Baya Clare. Keeping good. Let me see. Oh, none of them will get to spend on decent players. Well, see what happens, folks. Time will tell. Well, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight for the podcast. These are all legends taking time, taking time. Always our evening, or is our day, or is our afternoon. Plunge. Is it ridiculous? Why are they not making serious effort to bring players in to win the league? Plus, Lawwell said as much in 2012. So Chris has a point here. And Plunge has a point back. We'll see this being exchanged over the next couple of podcasts, you know. He's a badass. Yeah. Fair play, Sean from Minnesota, mate. Good night, Keith, and good night, all, and hail. Hail to ourselves. Really good popping on tonight, folks. I just quiet over the weekend. Just give you the heads up. I'm moving property, so things will slow down with content. So once I get to be a new property, get things up and going, we're going to see a nice little Celtic setup in the background. We might see a nice Celtic LED light put up. The ballroom be put up, you know. Might be a few flags in the background. I mean, making it feel like proper home, as the Scots would say. So we'll see. Slán. Take care of yourself, folks. As I said, just do it. As Nike would say, just do it. Press the subscribe button. Get on it. If you're on Facebook, you want to see me more, chatting away, transfer talk, talking about the club, talking about the so-called money in the bank, let's jump over to YouTube, folks. That's where it's at. As I said, I don't want to sound like I'm desperate and I'm begging you to jump over. That's the way you get people over, by mentioning subscribe. So, shall chat you all soon. Keith, I've heard all the same. Some podcasts, all fullbacks are slow. Need to buy 2 drafts. I don't think Alistair Johnson's slow. I just think he's a bit off of this season. You know, Ralston's is a little bit slow, but he's a reliable right back. Taylor's not the fastest, yeah. Pace. Let's see what happens. Right, Jed, I better go. If you say so, you bleeding muppet. Right, take care of yourselves. Good night, God bless.